Well, Natalie, all season long, Fairmont State has rewritten its own record book, but tonight, can the 20-0 Falcons continue that trend as they get set to take on another nationally ranked opponent? There's so much excitement surrounding this AA championship game that begins at 7 o'clock. And how could there not be? Fairmont Senior tonight will play for its first football championship in 70 years. Last hour, we talked about what the Cougars need to do to secure a victory. What about the Mountaineers? What do they need to do? Well, if week 2 was any indication, they're going to run the football a lot. And then when you think they're done running the football, they're going to go do it some more. Hey there, Natalie. A lot of smiling faces tonight in Monongalia County. That's because the Pittsburgh Pirates are here at Stepping Stones to celebrate. It's an early Christmas present for many of these children who play in the Miracle League here at Stepping Stones. We saw Labor Day baseball here at Monongalia County Ballpark, and entering this contest against Williamsport 3.5 games back in both the divisional and wild card races, the Black Bears knew they needed a win to remain alive in the playoff hunt. History, records, bragging rights, you name it, all on the line tonight at Wayne Jamison Field. Class AA #1 Bridgeport getting set to take on Fairmont Senior in a rematch of last year's semifinals. I'm joined by head coach Ryan Wilson, who's been with the program now for more than 3 decades. And Coach, CB's off to a great start this season. 4 dominant wins. What's impressed you the most about this team?
Working for you. This is WBOY, now in high definition. 12 News at 6 starts now.
Good evening and welcome to 12 News at 6. I'm Gretchen Ross.
And I'm Don Gray. We've got high school football on tap tonight.
That's right. Nick Farrell is live in Shinston with another look ahead to tonight's cross-county showdown. Nick?
Under an hour away to kickoff now, Gretchen. Last hour, we talked about what the Cougars need to do to secure a victory. What about the Mountaineers? What do they need to do? Well, if week 2 was any indication, they're going to run the football a lot. And then when you think they're done running the football, they're going to go do it some more. Last week, Liberty totaled nearly 600 yards of offense against Notre Dame in a 56-14 win. Quarterback Seth McKinney threw the ball just 4 times. So who carried the bulk of the load for the Mountaineers? Dalton Westfall and Broderick Lance, one of the best running back tandems in the area. Together, they racked up 503 rushing yards, combining for 7 touchdowns. And as we heard Coach Rob Hawkins of the Cougars say, Lincoln struggled to tackle last week. That could be a good sign for the Mountaineers. These two teams are polar opposites when it comes to offensive approach, and that should make for a really exciting contest. Coming up later this hour, we'll talk with Liberty head coach A.J. Harmon about how the Mountaineers are approaching this game. For now, let's send it back to Chief Meteorologist Brian Sherman. He's got another look at your Friday night football forecast.
After an exciting season for the Mountaineers, baseball returns to the Mon County Ballpark tonight. It's opening night for the Black Bears as they begin their New York Penn League schedule. Nick Farrell is live at the ballpark tonight with more. Hey, Nick.
Dan, Black Bear buzz is back in and around Morgantown as the West Virginia Black Bears open their 3rd New York Penn League season. And this time around, things will look a bit different. After a manager swap between the Black Bears and West Virginia Power, Brian Esposito is now the skipper here in Granville. He'll lead his club for the first time tonight, and it's a club and roster that's likely to be ever-changing throughout the season. That's the way things go in short season A-ball. In fact, before the end of June, we expect to see several new faces on this roster as the Pirates continue negotiations with new draft picks and other acquisitions. But 7 Black Bears from last season will return, and tonight they take on the Mahoning Valley Scrappers, a team they've had plenty of success against in previous seasons. The Bears have opened with Mahoning Valley in 2015, 2016, and 2017 here tonight. Last season, the Bears won on opening day against the Scrappers. So, Dan, we'll see if that trend can continue. Batting practice just wrapped up here. We're waiting the start of opening day ceremonies at the ballpark. Live in Granville for West Virginia tonight, I'm Nick Farrell. Back to you.
Okay, well, much of our state is seeing the effects of Hurricane Harvey with rain coming down throughout the day, but that's not keeping a lot of football teams from playing under the Friday night lights. Tonight, we are taking you across the state and even out of state with a look at some of the night's big games. We'll start off with Nick Farrell in north central West Virginia, where North Marion is hosting Preston County. Hey, Nick.
Dan, here in Rachel, you don't have to look far to be reminded of how much history in football there is. If you look right above us, there's a reminder of when the Huskies won state championships in 80, 81, and 97. Rich Rodriguez even played his high school football here. And now over the last 2 decades or so, the Huskies have gone up and down in their progression. Right now, their stock is trending upward, and that's thanks in large part to the hard work that head coach Darren Hayes has put in. The Huskies ended a lengthy playoff drought last season, gave Point Pleasant a run for its money in the first round of the AA tournament last year, and now the Huskies are off to a 1-0 start after taking down rival East Fairmont last week. Tonight, the Huskies host Preston. You'll see a lot of black and silver here. In fact, some call it the Black and Silver Bowl. Last year in this matchup, though, Preston saw a lot of that color scheme in the wrong end zone. The Knights were shut out a season ago. They're looking for their first victory in this series since 2014, their first victory in any competition since August 2016. Kickoff fast approaching here in Marion County. 7 o'clock kick on the way soon. Live in Rachel, I'm Nick Farrell. Let's send it back now to Dan, where hopefully things are a little bit drier.
It's time now for the Sports Zone. Now in high definition.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us inside the 12 Sports Zone. We saw Labor Day baseball here at Monongalia County Ballpark, and entering this contest against Williamsport 3.5 games back in both the divisional and wild card races, the Black Bears knew they needed a win to remain alive in the playoff hunt. And behind a quality start from Ike Slaybaugh, the Bears did indeed deliver a win this afternoon, beating the Crosscutters 3-1. West Virginia posted runs in each of the first 3 innings of the game to take control, and as catcher Jose Barraza tells us, an abundance of early hits made the difference today.
I mean, just offensively, I felt like we put up a couple good at-bats, did our situational hitting, and it ended up working out well.
But unfortunately for the Black Bears, other teams around the league didn't help their playoff chances. Both division-leading Mahoning Valley and wild-card favorite Hudson Valley swept doubleheaders today, mathematically eliminating the Bears from playoff contention. So, coming up tonight at 11, we'll have full highlights from this matchup and reaction from Bears manager Brian Esposito on how a late-season slump ultimately cost his club a spot in the postseason.